Steve is about to scatter Clay's ashes into this water, which is near the esplanade where Clay used to live. We're here today for a little memorial service with Claire and another couple of people that Clay knew, Hunter and his wife from Taiwan. Earlier we were scattering bread out to the geese. There's the geese, ducks. Over in the distance is the esplanade where Clay lived at the end of his life.
Okay, here we are at the place where Clay and Hunter used to come down and fish. It was one of the places he requested his ashes to be put. So, and we put them, if you note, the end of the landing there, and then back about 50-75 feet from the end of the landing is that little stump, old cypress stump in the water. And then Clay's ashes is the best place we could walk down and get close, are right down here about 15-20 feet down, just past the rocks into the water there. And look over there. Little bayou going in there. It is a nice little place.
Especially at sunset.
Yeah, it would be good at sunset.
Don't get me.
We are hoping that it's not. Well, I want to just swing by and get you here. My cousin Claire. And this is Karen's here. So, yeah, just a nice little. Claire read a piece of a Rudyard Kipling poem, and I'll just finish by saying it's not my job to decide who gets into heaven or who doesn't, or even if there is a heaven. I just hope the best for the ashes and Clay, and that it's a new beginning for him, because I know he wasn't really happy in this life, but maybe this little place made him happier than most, and maybe his spirit will rest easy here. So maybe going. This is the Gulf of Mexico where Clay went out of when he first started working years ago as a kid, 17 years old or 18 years old, working out on the boats. And so it makes a lot of sense he'd come back here. He liked to come in here when he lived in Morgan City all those years. He liked to come here and fish. And I guess the pier that they fished on is taken out by the hurricane, and they haven't rebuilt it, but the rest of the place is here. And here we are at the old Greenwood Property, Lickskillet it's called, that we grew up on, and I'm going to scatter a bunch of Clay's ashes here. We're pretty close to the old well, the old gas well back of the property. We're in the back part of the property here. Yeah, in the woods here. And let's see, I'm going to just see which direction the wind's going so get the ashes going the right way. Well, kind of calm, but well, one more try. You always want to check which direction the wind is blowing before you scatter ashes, because they are lightweight and they fly. So Karen, can you see that?
Yes.
Folks at home, see that? There you are, Clay. Back here at Greenwood finally, guys. Yep, brother, I hope you rest well on your way to a great journey. Finally at peace with yourself and everybody else, I hope. Watch out, he's flying back towards us. And you want to scatter ashes kind of slowly and carefully because the winds change and they kick back around. And so we've put Clay's ashes here at Greenwood and here at the Bayou St. John in New Orleans and out in the Gulf of Mexico in southern Louisiana at Burns Point near Morgan City. And I think I'll just take the rest, just a little bit of them back up to Oregon and put them in the Pacific Ocean. Clay spent so many years in Asia, and I think I'd like to put some of them for him at the Pacific coast. Take a couple of these old pine cones. These things make good, when they're smaller and harder, make real good things to throw in a fight. They got little pine cone, sharp little spikes on the end of each seed, and they're really good. So, okay, brother, one last little bunch. I'm so glad to have gotten Clay finally back to Greenwood because, he never should have left when he was 16. Who knows how everyone's life would have been different had he stayed, but that's just not what happened. So we move forward with what we have and remember the best, forget the rest. Yep, remember the best and forget the rest. Okay, and here's just a piece of paper with some of his handwriting on it and some notes he had that I just wanted to scatter down there too. Don't have anything for a marker, but that's fine. I don't think I think Clay would rather be like this in the woods than have some fixed marker. But I'm going to pick up a few rocks and pine cones and things to take home too. So yeah, we're here in Forest Lawn Cemetery in Shreveport, and this is where Clay and my mother and some of my father's ashes, mother's buried here, and also our grandparents, Mabel McGinney Campbell and Owlet Chester Campbell. My grandfather was one of the most well-known builders in the South when he was alive, and here it looks like his headstone is sunk underneath the ground, which kind of tells you something about how fragile life is and how quickly it passes away from us. So I brought some of my brother's ashes here to just spread out, and this is he was gone and estranged from the family for so many years, so it feels really good to bring some of his ashes back here and put them down so they can a little bit together, but maybe not really, but makes me feel good that there's just a little bit from each one of them here. Sometimes you gotta spread out ashes close to the ground because they don't weigh much and they blow and fly all over. Most cemeteries require you to ask permission to do this, and they want to charge you something for it. But you know, like many things in this world, it is easier to ask for forgiveness for doing something than there is to ask for permission to do it in the first place. So you always got to think about the greater good, for the greatest number, not just for ourselves, but the greater good for more people. And this just is put a couple of rocks here that were on the road out at Greenwood, where we put Clay's ashes out there, and that road that Granddaddy built. And Karen, why don't you go here and I'll point out which graves are which.
Okay.
Maybe zoom in and get Mommy's. Grandmother Campbell's grave is the only one that's above ground right now. Roots, and I don't know whether they weren't installed the best, but they have the headstones of my father and my mother and my grandfather have sunk. So I'm just, these little pieces of paper have some of the, just some notes and writing that Clay did on them, and I just put them out because, you know, it's his handwriting is a little bit of his DNA, however small, and that's the best I can do for my folks. And you know, they sure deserve that, and I'm sure glad to do it. And I hope Clay finds peace. It eluded him in life, but I hope he finds peace, and I feel really good to have better push this rock underneath the ground, or it'll get thrown away or roll off or something. Yeah, I am glad to be able to do this for Mom and Daddy and Clay, because he was about 16 years old when he left home, and none of these people ever saw him ever again after he was 16. How old he was, 60 something when he died. Yeah. And yep, so yeah, it feels just right to bring some of Clay's ashes. Most of them we put off into the Gulf of Mexico, the place where he and his friend Hunter used to go fishing, and some of them we put Bayou St. John, take just a few back to Oregon. Some we put at the old Greenwood Property, Lickskillet, and then this here. Okay. Well, here we are finally at the Pacific coast. That's the Hecata Lighthouse above Florence, Oregon. It's a famous landmark right here on the coast. There's the Pacific Ocean, and straight across there, Hawaii and Japan and Taiwan and China and everything else. Philippines. So we'll put Clay's ashes, the rest of them here, and you know, it looks like the tide's going to be going out, so they'll be carrying them, and I hope he'll be on his journeys to a new beginning for himself. Got some of my cousin John Campbell's acoustic guitar playing in the background, but you can't hear it. The ocean's pretty loud. There's a bridge here. A lot of people have come here and dropped off ashes of loved ones. It's a real scenic spot on the Oregon coast. And that's the lighthouse up there, but it's going under repairs. Usually it's tall and white and slender. But the Hecata Lighthouse.